Right, we should be recording now. There we go. So this is for everyone that is tuning in late, and for those on different time zones that can make it, Australia, New Zealand, stuff like that. Okay. So anyway, guys, we're starting off on a workshop, and wait, internet is unstable. We definitely don't want that. Okay, we sorted that. So I'm gonna get straight into it, okay, guys. Avoids behaviors, and with safety and avoids behaviors, again, they're literally everything when it comes to this is why anxiety and panic become anxiety disorder and panic disorder. There's nothing wrong with a panic attack and there's nothing wrong with anxiety in life. But when, as you guys all know, when it gets in the way of a living and it actually cripples your whole life, it's because we've engaged in so many safety and avoidance behaviors. But the reason why I'm doing something and adding, trying to give you guys as much knowledge as possible on avoidance behaviors is that avoidance behaviors are way more crippling and keep you way more stuck psychologically than the safety behavior. Okay. And safety behaviors at the start we can almost use them to our advantage. Okay. So we can actually use safety behaviors at the start depending on the severity of each individual and how stuck they are in their recovery at the start. And we've done that with plenty of people. And I've used that to my advantages as well. Where in my case, my safety behaviors was running or walking with my safe person, which was the guy Sean that helped me out. And also with a backpack on my bag with bananas and nuts and seeds. And I had an iPhone that always went dead. So I always wanted medical attention. If something's wrong, I can ring an ambulance. And my brain couldn't risk that my phone would go dead. So what I did was I bought one of the Nokias that cost like €20 that lasts through the Stone Age. So I bought one of them that don't go dead. So I would have this in my bag and two phone chargers. Okay. And, you know, I would run with all of that with a backpack, safety behaviors. But they enabled me to get past my avoidance behaviors. Because if you asked me because it was so bad, Glenn, you have to drop all of that, which is a lot of therapists would actually say that to the person straight away. I'm sure you guys have all heard that. Like when you mention these safety behaviors to a therapist or whoever you're seeing, they'll say, you need to stop doing that. You need to go on your walk without your water and you need to stop taking, I don't know, maybe your medication in your bag or you need to stop calling your husband. And I found out that it's like, no, don't stop that. That's going to stop naturally. What you have to do is you can still bring that with you because even though you're bringing your water, you're still actually getting a really beautiful psychological reward from making it, the most agoraphobic speaking. Okay. It doesn't matter what you take. I mean, if you got on a plane, like Lorna, if I said to you, Lorna, you can get on a plane, but you have to take 6 bottles of water with you. Would you and you'll have no anxiety? Would you have any shame in bringing the 6 bottles of water?
No, definitely not.
Exactly, because they'll get you there. So when we're trying to recover, we don't drop all of these things. And I think that's something that's really important. Again, it goes into the level of severity, okay? But avoidance behaviors are what we really have to tackle. Okay. So if we're at our worst and we have to take a bottle of water or I don't know, maybe you carry a Xanax tablet in your pocket or something like that you haven't even taken in a bloody year, but just in case. Or you have to, when you're going out of your house and you have to say to your husband or your wife, can you keep your phone on loud just in case I need to call you? Now promise you'll answer all that behavior, see all that. That all goes naturally. Because as you face the fear, it doesn't matter if you bring these safety behaviors with you, you're still panicking. You're still going to panic whether you have that bottle of water, tablet in your pocket, the Clear Weeks book in your bag, and two phones. You're still going to. But there might be a small percentage that just helps you get by with that. And that's perfectly fine to not drop those straight away. That's why safety behaviors, I don't really focus on them too much until kind of the end. I'm more about let's get rid of the avoidance behavior. Let's get active. Let's take these safety behaviors with us if we have to. And at the start, we might be using or, planning things that are regarded as safety behaviors. But I don't care. Once we're moving, then you're coming back and say, "Oh, I haven't been there in 10 years. But Glenn, I had to take my bottle of water." So take fucking three with you if you have to. You got the psychological win. You got the reward. Was it perfect? No. But it got you moving. It gets you a little bit confident. You haven't seen that place in a long time. Do it again tomorrow. Do it again the next day. And that's again, it's whatever it takes to get us out of avoidance. Avoidance is what cripples us. Okay? Avoidance is this, and it works. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to get the workshop up now. Avoidance works. Okay? Avoidance works. I'm having a horrible panic attack in the store. I'm going to leave here and never come back for a month. Great. No more panic attacks in stores. Why? Because I'm not going into them. Where's that going to leave you? I have a panic attack on a bus. I'm not getting on that again. Next 2 years you have me on a bus. Where does that get you? I had a panic attack on a train, but I'm not getting back on it again. Which means I don't have panic attacks on trains, and I don't have panic attacks on buses, and I don't have panic attacks in shopping centres. Why? Because I don't go into them. What does that do? Strengthens the neural pathway of avoidance, shrinks your life. And here we are, going on 2, 3, 4 years, and we question, why can't I do these things? It's because of the avoidance behaviors every single goddamn day. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, okay? Because it's very important. It's very, very important. So I'm going to get up presentation for you guys now. One second. This is my new laptop, so I'm just figuring myself way around it. So as you know, guys, like, listen, if you're still engaging in safety behaviors, that's absolutely fine. They will naturally fall off way, way quicker, way more naturally than avoidance behaviors. Avoidance behaviors have to be worked at um, with a lot of discipline and a lot of behavior reconditioning. Whereas as safety behaviors, they don't really, they just, it's more natural that they fall off because you're gaining so much confidence from non-avoidance, basically. Um, okay, guys, let me see. This down. You guys see that zoom there, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna move you guys over here. And we are going to start off with avoidance, phobia. Okay, can all you guys see that now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, avoidance and panic, anxiety, and agoraphobia. Understand the role of avoidance in mental health, okay? So as I said, guys, it's the avoidance that we really want to tackle here, okay? It's the avoidance. Forget your safety behaviors. There's no need to work on them right now. Safety behaviors, I like to think of safety behaviors as, I'm sure many of you guys have heard me mention this. They're like leaves falling off a tree in autumn. Who is out there picking all those leaves off? Nobody. No one's out picking all the leaves off. They're falling off naturally. And those safety behaviors will fall off naturally if you start engaging in non-avoidance. Non-avoidance breeds confidence, breeds self-respect towards yourself, and winning back your dignity, winning back your pride. And when that happens, you automatically, you don't reach for the phone to call the husband. You don't reach for that first turn on the highway. You don't do those things because you're gaining all this confidence through the act of non-avoidance. Okay. And it's so understanding, why people avoid things, because avoidance works. Avoidance is a short-term gratification. I'm not going to do that because I'm anxious. Okay, don't do it then. You'll see in the long run which way you develop the disorder. Okay. So first, the impact on the quality of life. Okay, why should we learn about this? The impact on the quality of life. Avoidance behaviors, okay, significantly impair daily function, relationships, the overall quality of life, leading to social isolation, job loss, difficulty in daily activities. We've all been there. We all have our own stories here, okay? The cycle of reinforcement, okay? Understanding avoidance is crucial because it plays a key role in maintaining and worsening anxiety. Okay, panic and agoraphobia, kind of vicious cycle that's really hard to break. So, the path to recovery, okay, discussing avoidance, what we're doing now is the first step in recognizing it as a barrier is an understatement, okay? A bloody brick wall to the treatment and exploring effective strategies to overcome it, okay, leading to improved mental health and well-being. So, the importance of understanding avoidance is you have to be very self-aware. And let me plug this charger, sorry. You have to be very, very self-aware of the crippling effects um, of avoidance behaviors. Avoidance behaviors are the main reason why you're in this situation because listen, what happens we have the neurochemistry here, but what happens on a neurochemical level is that every time you avoid, okay, you have your anxiety attack or you have your levels of anxiety and panic. And with that, it's a feeling I don't want to feel like this. Yeah. Can you all hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So with avoidance behaviors, how does it develop? How does the brain realize that, oh, let's keep engaging in this? Because when we avoid, okay, it works. It works. And how it works is the dopamine that's released through, oh my God, this is a horrible feeling. But if I engage in this activity, i.e., avoidance, my anxiety goes and it's not as bad and I can live with less anxiety. Isn't that all we want? Yes. So currently that's the only method that we now associate with because there's no quick fix to this. The medication we were given, the talk therapy, nothing has worked. Yet we notice a significant drop in our anxiety levels if we engage in this avoidance. So at the start, when we have no understanding of what the hell's going on, the first 6 months, the first year, we engage in all this behavior, we're immediately stuck. That's where it's now not anxiety, it's not panic, it's anxiety disorder and it's panic disorder. And it's all of that repetition, all those neural pathways of avoidance have now just built up to this brick wall. Okay. So again, let's go back to self-compassion. So that's why I haven't been on this in 10 years and I haven't done this. Oh, fantastic. Now we know again to give ourselves some self-compassion for all the shit that we've been through. Okay. All the stuff that we missed out on. Okay. All of it. Now we have an actual understanding. Wow. So that's how the brain works. So that's how I was cut out. And that's how, yeah, I was so terrified. So that's why I engaged in these behaviors. Wow. I get that. I can kind of be a little bit more nicer to myself now. Wow. I'm understanding that now. Okay. That's no problem, William. No problem. No problem. Okay. Now, avoidance involves steering clear of situations, thoughts. See, it's not just avoidance of the highway. It's avoidance of like I'll go live sometimes, okay? And it's happened. I'll go live on TikTok sometimes, okay? And let's say I have like, I don't know, 100 people watching, okay? And then I start to talk about heart attacks during anxiety. And I'll be saying, who fears heart attacks? And the minute that word's mentioned, you can never have a heart attack from anxiety or panic, no matter how terrible it is. But the minute I mention that word, you will see people, I'll go down to around, I don't know, I had 100 people watching, now to 70. Oh, I can't hear that word. Their anxiety levels rise up time. I can't listen to that. I'm getting off. Again, feeding into that cycle again. So it's not just places. It's these things. And there's some people here, and you know who you are. And I would have been one of those people as well, where if I heard something like, oh, I have to get off that. It's happened many times. since what I do here with the work, that when I mention something, psychiatric one, going crazy, oh, I can't hear that. People's anxiety is probably rushing now. Stay with it. It's no problem. This is a safe place. This is how we recover. So you're avoiding, oh, I can't hear that word because it gives me anxiety. Let me get off this now. Ah, I feel better. Oh yeah, you feel better? Okay, so you're gonna run every time you hear the word psychiatric word and heart attack, things that can't even happen to you. You're gonna continue running. You're gonna continue to keep stuck in the disorder. Or how about stay with it? Let's try that. You tried the complete opposite for multiple years. So let's try the complete opposite. Okay, and we're gonna understand that it's not a quick fix. Okay, it's not a quick fix, and I'm gonna get into that as well. So avoidance involves steering clear of situations, thoughts, or feelings that trigger anxiety, fear, often as a way to prevent discomfort. Forms of avoidance, well, there's many, and we have the behavioral aspect of things, avoiding places, avoiding people, activities, okay, or not attending social events, which I'm so glad that you guys, most of you guys, and people that aren't at there yet, but that's one of the things that gives you those little sports, little light bulbs, little candles lighting inside you that even though you're anxious in these places, like maybe Lorna last night at the wedding, magnificent, she's dying with a hangover now. It's so worth it. Like if we experienced Lorna doing this 3 to 4 months ago and her having a hangover now, she would be in not the best mental state. But she's proud of what she did, not last night, previously, of all that work that got her to this place. So she's now able to sit there with that hangover and be like, yeah, not nice, but hell was it worth it. Okay? And it's again building up on she's been engaging in non-avoidance for a long time. And just that's just Lorna as an example because she's most recent as the weekend. Like everyone's engaging in that to some degree. Okay, some more than others, but because some more than others are maybe just more willing, just a little bit more ready, and have just done it longer. No comparison. Everyone's different and recovers at a different rate. Okay. Um, so yeah, not attending social events. That's one thing that um, when we start to do again, can light little sparks within us. And always remember that at the start of recovery, when you're going to these places, you're still going to feel anxious. Okay, but we'll get that. So, okay, so behavioral avoidance, avoiding things behaviorally. Now, avoiding them cognitively. Okay, I was going to say this is more. This is one of our this type of avoidance is kind of harder to break down because it's cognitive and technically cognitively, it's actually more embedded rather than your behavioral. Okay. Because we can switch our behaviors up kind of more than cognitively because cognitively we rabbitize the amygdala so much. The nervous system is also so linked cognitively because of this exact disorder. It's so linked to the nervous system that it's not just cognitively, it's so interlinked to the nervous system. Okay, so maybe this would be more difficult. Um, um, guys, I was going on the bus for the first time in over 10 years. Fantastic. Fantastic. First time in 10 years. That is incredible. 10 years. Unbelievable. And that's the beauty about the group is that when we're all on here and when you've been engaged in the group for a long time, you get to know people. You get to see people's bravery. You get to hear people's story. You get to see where they were to where they are now. You get to find comfort. You get to find that this is a safe place. I feel trusted that if I have a panic attack in a different country, I'm supported by people in different countries because the love and support and that we have here, that we grow. And this is, remember, this is a select group of people that are chosen that I feel when I get on calls, when I do this, when people are ready. Or sometimes I know people aren't ready, but I feel that in, let's say, the likes of, mm, let's say Ailey, for example, with really hard, and maybe Michelle as well, like really hard to break down their, um, avoidance. Oh, sorry, not avoidance. To break down the getting stuck with the word. Break down the. Why am I getting stuck with this word? I use it bloody every single day. Resistance. That's the word. Resistance. Resistance is a effort. People that are really find it difficult to get rid of the resistance. I just know sometimes that those people, the likes of aliens, they should be in here. They should be on this group and not in the other group that have that people that talk about symptoms all the time. They're not quite ready yet. You just get that feel that yeah, the person's ready. And sometimes you know that because of the longevity that they've suffered, that they mightn't think they're ready, but the suffering of going through it 5 years, 6 years to 10 years, 12, they don't feel like they're ready yet, but they really are. They're sick of it. So having them over here in this group is way more beneficial than over in a different group talking about heart attacks and strokes. It's something that's never going to happen. Um, but yeah, being on the bus now and finding that comfort in the group, it's great. Absolutely brilliant. First time on a bus in 10 years. And that's what I was talking about just a couple of minutes ago. Don't, and being on that bus, don't be expecting to be looking out the window and there's sunshine glaring on your face and you feel like the happiest person in the world. You're not. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like crap. But you've now gone on like, if I asked you right now, when's the last time you went on a bus? 10 years ago. Okay. When you got off that bus now in a couple of minutes, let's ask you the same question. When's the last time you were on a bus? 10 seconds ago. Ah, wow. What a difference. You've now broken that barrier. Yeah, you were anxious. Yeah, when you get on it the next day and the next day and the next day, you'll still be anxious. That's that's the journey. And that's the annoying part of anxiety disorders. It takes a lot of time. But this is life. It's worth fighting every tooth and nail for. Okay? Anyway, fantastic. 10 years breaking that cycle. I don't know what spurred you on to do that, but I love it. And I love that. I love that spontaneous, I love the spontaneous nature of this group where I'm not expecting it. I thought everyone was going to be just chilling in tonight because usually this is what, you know, we have a workshop. Okay, I'll listen in. I'm glad you're just out taking action. Excellent. Because I have this recorded for everybody. Okay. So yeah, I feel cognitively when it comes to avoidance, it's a little bit deeper than the behavioral aspect of things. Okay. Um, and then obviously emotional, avoiding their emotions and numbing or disconnecting. Okay. Role in anxiety disorders. While avoidance provides short-term relief, this is why we all engage in it. It reinforces anxiety over time, making it harder to confront fears and maintain normal activities. Guys, we're dealing with the most primitive part of the brain here. Okay? That's why it's so hard. I just cut yourself some slack, please. Cut yourself some slack. Stop hating on yourself. This is the most primitive part of the brain that wasn't your fault. That when you have your first panic attack and whatever happened in your life to bring you to that point, that when you go to the man in the white jacket and you're not given the correct answers, it's not your fault. Okay? But anxiety disorders, for me, they're very spiritual in nature where we learn so much about yourself. Like, think about what you've learned. You've learned about nutrition, sleep, neuroscience, health, life. Look at everything you've learned because of pain. Pain is the number one cause of people changing their lives dramatically. Like real sustained change comes from real pain. Okay? So anxiety disorders, they're horrible, very beautiful in a way when we get to the point of overcoming them. Okay, so what happens at a neurological level? The fear response and the brain, okay? The amygdala, the brain's fear center, activates during perceived threats, as we know, as we all know, we're all very well educated here, triggering the fight and flight response in non-dangerous situations. Yes, welcome to the world of panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Avoidance and neural pathways. Okay, gets interesting now. Avoidance reinforces the neural pathways associated with fear making the brain more likely to react with anxiety in similar future situations, i.e., buses. Why do you think? Sorry, another thing. I didn't see the name of the person on the bus.
It's
It's
Yasmin.
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 Yeah. Wouldn't you know?
So every Friday now you've moved
Car
past the
wash.
car wash. Now it's the bus journeys.
Yeah.
What does it
It's,
feel like to be on a bus again?
I'm not on it yet. I'm waiting for it to come, but the anticipation of waiting for it is like, I wish it was just here when I got here.
Yeah, the anticipatory anxiety is way worse than actually going into it.
Yeah, it
Now,
feels like the way that I felt going to the airport.
yeah. Now listen, that's one of the great things that Judy and you can use to your advantage recently is that psychological belief in yourself that, hold on a minute, I was on a plane, okay? Always remember that.
Yeah.
Reach back into that cookie jar of all the great things that you've just done.
I
Okay,
know, and like
that's
that's the thing. This is like the last thing on my list that I haven't. Well, this and a train, but like I've two things left. So a bus and a train are the only things left on the list that I haven't done, and the list is so long, like so fucking long. And I'm like, how am I still feeling this way after all the things that I've done?
this is explaining why you're feeling this way, what I'm talking about. Okay?
Yeah,
Your brain is so used to you avoiding for so many years that your brain is your best friend that will never do anything on it to harm you. And it has seen you behaving in ways that thinks you're in danger. So your best friend actually doesn't trust you at the moment. It's like,
yeah,
I'm not trusting her until she shows me. And you can't just tell the brain, listen, I'm okay. Listen, best friend, I'm okay. You can stop, shut off now. I'm all good. No, it doesn't trust you. You have to prove by doing the things now, time and time and time again. And then your best friend will say, oh, okay, I believe you now. I'm going to switch off. And here we are living normally. Okay. But just because I told you, just because I got on that
yeah.
flight didn't mean you come back and everything's all good again.
No, definitely not.
It's the same. Let's say for Jimmy. Jim, when is the last time you were on a flight?
On a flight, I would say 2019.
2019. Okay. 2019 was when I took my first flight from not flying for 10 years. So a perfect example is, okay, Jimmy has not been on a flight for, let's say, 5 years. Okay. Let's say he gets on a flight in 2 weeks and comes to Paris. Yeah. When he goes back, he's gonna still deal with so much shit. Okay. Because the way the brain, what we're speaking about now is avoidance. And it has memorized so much that the only thing he can take away from getting on that plane coming over here and he will have the biggest panic attack on the plane. Nothing will happen to him. He'll get here, probably have up and down cycles of DPDR or whatever, but he'll still make it home alive. What he'll take from that is a beautiful memory and a beautiful psychological win, which is exactly what Judy took, what you took, and soon is what William will take. And we will talk about that soon, William. And as the build up to Judy's plane journey, I told her, even till the moment I said, Judy, if you don't get on this plane, so what? So what? But of course, you invested some money into going to a certain place and you didn't want to go up on that. And thank God you didn't. But all you gained from that was a beautiful moment, a special moment. You'll have it for the rest of your life. And that's what you will, that, if Jim was to do that, he would have a beautiful moment, take lovely pictures of the Eiffel Tower, would have lots of panic, made it home, and then wonder why I'm having panic attacks going into the shopping centre when I've just been in Paris. Because your brain has associated that shopping centre so many times because you left it, you ran out consistently year after year after year after year after year. Okay, so that's why, in regards to avoidance, is why Yasmin, that jumped within 2 weeks working with her. She fucking jumped on a plane. And I knew when she comes home from that, we still have a lot of work to do. And that's the way it is, Yasmin. That's fantastic. That's part of it. So I want you to reach into that. Like, I was on a plane. So the fact that stop having it in my mind that I shouldn't feel anxious just because I went on a plane and I did this thing. No, you're still overcoming a lot of avoidance behavior, a lot of the way your brain has the way your brain has formulated from all this avoidance behavior over the years. It's what we're talking about. It's why anxiety disorders develop because of this. That's why it's so strange. So like, but I was on a plane, my biggest fear ever. So why am I feeling it on a bus?
Yeah.
And it's so strange, right? But that's the way the brain works. Because you, as I told you, you basically have, in regards to negative and positive reinforcement to the amygdala, to these parts of the brain that keep this alive, for years you have negatively reinforced that. Now you're only on your journey of positively reinforcing it, and you just haven't had enough positive reinforcement yet. That is all. Soon, the more you go on, which is why I do month-to-month coaching, is to help people to push to get psychological wins time and time and time and time and time again, which to the point, it's different for everybody. To the point that they have the psychological switch over where they've had enough positive reinforcement in all of the places with all of their most deepest, darkest thoughts, gone through it correctly, and have had that psychological switch over. And you're just on your way. Okay? Are you on the bus yet?
No, I feel like the buses are stopped or something. Like this normal that they take this long. Are they on
Yeah,
strike or something?
welcome to public transport, my friend. But listen, when you get on, just drop a message in saying I'm on, okay?
I will. Thanks so much.
Well done, we're super proud of you. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Okay, so avoidance and neural pathways. Avoidance reinforces the neural pathways associated with fear. Okay, so every time you avoid, like, you've no idea. Like, as I said, we're dealing with the most primitive part of the brain. Okay, so cut yourself some slack. Okay, you've engaged in so much negative reinforcement that there's no other way that you can react. Okay, it's almost out of your control until you've behaved a certain way for such a long period of time, which is what we're all trying to do. We're trying to unlearn so much. Okay, we're trying to retrain, and it's hard and it's difficult. Okay, so and then the role of the prefrontal cortex, okay, the prefrontal cortex responsible for rationality, thinking, okay, decision making, that goes out the window. There's no rationality with this. Rationality only starts to appear over a couple of months of exposure to all your feared situations. Like my mind couldn't, there was no rationality in it. But after running and walking to these agoraphobic places, thinking I'm going to have a heart attack, I'm going to die. When I went into that so consistently after like 3.5 months, then I was like, anytime I had a thought of a heart attack, I'm like, I could brush that off so easily. Why? Because I had the thought and the growing sense of panic that was so horrible multiple times over the course of 3.5 months, let's say, that I could just rationalize myself out now. I know my body, I know it's not going to happen. I've been through the worst of it. I put myself into the tornado time and time and time again, which is what all you guys will have to do, unfortunately. Okay? That's what you'll have to do. And that's when my prefrontal cortex was, oh, we know now that. I mean, Glenn, you're running every day. You've had fear of a heart attack for 10 years. Nothing's going to happen. Okay? So yeah, there's your prefrontal cortex is like, it's not in control. Okay? Your prefrontal cortex is not in control. Fear dominates that. Why? Because it's a survival mechanism. Fear overrides that in a split second. Okay? So thinking and decision making is overridden by the amygdala during high anxiety, limiting the ability to access the true level of danger. So your brain can't comprehend if this is dangerous or not because there's no logic. There's no logic, like this is ridiculous. Where the fuck am I feeling this on a bus? I know bus isn't dangerous. Yeah, but you think that the fear of what you're going through in your mind and in your body is dangerous. So Yasmin, you're not fearing a bus right now. You're fearing how you're going to feel on that bus. What horrible thoughts will come up? Well, I have to stop the bus. Tell them, can I get off here? You're gonna, all that. And anyone that has been on the bus for a long time that has an anxiety disorder will have the same thoughts that you're having right now. And that's the beauty of the group coaching as well. Everyone has the same thoughts. Okay? Reinforcement of avoidance. Each time avoidance is used, the brain learns to associate safety with avoidance. Big mistake. Big, big, big mistake. But it's the only thing that we know. It's the only thing that gives us some relief from this relentless pain in the ass lump of anxiety and hurt and trauma and a little bit of depression we have with it. And it's the only thing that we find escape with. Okay? Is this avoidance. So no wonder we go and dive headfirst into it multiple times a day. Reinforcement of avoidance. Each time avoidance is used, the brain learns to associate safety with avoidance, making the anxiety an avoidance cycle, making it more difficult to unlearn. Okay? Makes sense, And this is all something that you probably already know, but when it's spoken to you in a certain way, while you're on your recovery journey, it makes more sense because maybe you read all this before and just stayed in bed and did fuck all. You're not going to do that now. You're going to learn this, take action, understand why I got on a plane. Why do I feel anxious on a bus? Understand why today I had no anxiety, but now I have. This, this is why. Too much negative reinforcement to these really, 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 really primitive parts of the brain. Okay. Avoidance and agoraphobia. Okay. Situational avoidance, staying away from specific places. I mean, Yasmin has stayed away from a bus for 10 years. Not today. She made a decision. I don't know where that decision came from. And she said, I'm getting on a fucking bus today. And I love that. Okay? And she'll have to do it again and again and again, as we know. But situational avoidance, okay? Which, again, this starts off from your first panic attack. But no one gives you the term, oh, you're agoraphobic. Why? Like when you have your first panic attack, you already technically have a bit of health anxiety, a bit of OCD, a bit of agoraphobia. Why? Because they're all the natural mechanisms that kick in when we're in fear. We don't want to do the things we used to do. We avoid things. We're doing certain compulsions to stop this emotion. Okay, so we all already accumulate a bit of it, but it's not. We're not diagnosed until it's done to a longevity of time where again, diagnosing people, I've only learned this through the clinical psychologist that I work with. He says, Glenn, diagnoses are just for medical settings. When people go in and they're dealing with certain things, like need to know that this person has borderline personality disorder, or just anxiety disorder. That's why people just put labels on it. Labels are just there for medical settings. Okay, so that's all it is. Because then I explained, like, labels made me worse. Like, I felt like, okay, I have agoraphobia. I have to break that down. But then I have my generalized anxiety disorder. Then I have to break that down. But then I have some OCD behaviors. I'll have to break that down. But then I have health anxiety. I have to break that down. When in reality, once I lost my fear of panic attack, everything went. So in reality, I had one fear of anxiety, panic, intrusive thoughts. I had fear. Fear grasped me and took my life away. Yeah, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, health anxiety, mental health anxiety because I thought I was developing really schizophrenia and shit like that, OCD, intrusive thoughts, agoraphobia. I was diagnosed with all that. And when I took action on the one thing was the fear of all of that, where's that? Where's all these diagnoses gone? I lost the fear of fear from going into it time and time and time again. And I never took 4 days, 5 days off, 6 days off, 7 days off. It's different for people. I was ready. Some people come on and they're just ready. Some people come on and they're not quite ready, but they want it so bad that they formulate and they take their time and they fail a lot, but they're so willing, even if they come off for a while, to come back on because they get a little bit more ready and ready and ready. Some people are just ready. I was 100% ready. I was almost like to the point I was like, you know what? I'm afraid panic is going to kill me and give me heart attacks. So be it. Give it to me then. Because there's no way I'm staying stuck in my house like that anymore. And I was just ready. And even at that vicious point of readiness where I was ready to let anything happen to me, it was still so hard to even get past my traffic light. That was took me a month and a half to get past. Okay. Even at my severe readiness, I still wasn't ready as such. Understand? I didn't know what I was getting into. I realized, oh, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to let a panic attack kill me and do whatever. But Jesus, this is hard to break down. But I kept going at it and at it and at it. Let's move on from that because, okay, here's another thing we want to touch on. And this is something that we want to take from this and really start to cut it out as best we can. We're not going to get all this perfect, but escape behaviors, okay? Quickly leaving situations that trigger discomfort or panic symptoms. Now, the best way to approach this is slowly. When you notice that this panic is coming up, your brain will not wait a split second. It's going to want you to turn around straight away. Now, what you have to do is you have to put a halt to that. You have to then try call the shots and become in charge of your amygdala and your response. Okay? And this is usually in exposure and response prevention, ERP. And it's in the method of therapeutical. It's really good for anxiety disorders and especially compulsions. Okay? You delay the response. So you're in traffic and you have a panic attack. And there's a left you can take as soon as that light goes green. And that left will take you home. And that's the left you've always taken at that red traffic light. And as soon as you take it, you're good. You've done it so many times that the brain knows now I'm safe. When you stop giving in to that, if you say no, I'm not going to take that left, but I'll take the next left. And that's good enough for me today. And that's good enough. Even though you know, like, okay, I've so much to recover from. And what's the second left going to do? It's going to do a lot. It's going to do what Yasmin did there. I haven't gone on a bus for 10 years. Okay, let's ask her in a minute. When's the last time we were on a bus? 10 seconds ago. So now we're like, I'm at this red traffic light. Haven't gone. I always take this left here because my house is that way. But I'm not taking that today. It's been 6 years now. I haven't gone past this. I'm going to go past it today. And you should be so proud of just doing that. Okay, so you then don't give in to that straight away when your brain says, go home, take that left, take that left. If you go further, you're fucked. You're going to die. You're going to lose control and do something. Okay, usual thoughts. Ain't nothing going to happen. Go past it. Go through the light. Don't take the left, but give yourself the permission to go 5 minutes further or even 60 seconds further to the next left. Take the next left and go home that way, or else do the U-turn again, come back, and then go back the normal way. You're changing the narrative. You're changing your behaviors. Okay, and it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna think, oh, but it's only a second left. That means, but I still can't go all the way here. Yeah, but you're making progress, and you're changing the brain the correct way. Okay, so these escaping behaviors, watch out for them no matter how small they are. Everyone with me? Yeah? Are we here?
Sorry, you talking to me, bud?
Is everyone here? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone's hearing what I'm talking about. I have it all recorded anyway, guys, yeah? Lorna?
Yeah.
Lorna?
Glenn, imagine you were after doing that whole thing and nobody was here.
No, it's all recorded anyway. Lorna,
Yeah. Can you
Rosa.
hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, guys, escape behaviors. You have to become very self-aware of this behavior. Okay, when you're out, understand, oh, here's this, it's coming up now. I can feel it. I'm not giving into it. I'm just going to go a little bit further for now. It's all I can cope with at the moment, but it's something. Like for Yasmin today, if you just got on the bus for one stop, is excellent. You broke the cycle. And then obviously the human brain will kick in. Oh, but I only did one stop. Ridiculous. Okay, and it's the same. It's the psychology of the human brain. You put up a post of yourself. Maybe Lorna looked fantastic last night. A million bucks. Seeing the smile on her face. She puts that post up on Instagram, and she gets 100 comments, and they all say, "You look beautiful. Look at your nails. Where'd you get your hair done? Oh, your dress is beautiful." There'll be one comment, and I'll say, "Lorna, you look like shit." When you go to bed that night, Lorna, what do you think you'll be focused on?
Not one
Only that one
negative.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
After all 99 beautiful comments, and you'll be saying, who was that person? Does she know me? Did she see me with no makeup on or something? You know, people are just we're so focused in on that, and it's gone the same with anxiety. Oh, I'm doing great, but I'm still can't go there. Can you not? That's the way it is. You technically can. Well, stop criticizing yourself. So if Yasmin got one stop today, yeah, but I only got one. That's fucking brilliant. Or, you know, I'm sure William was the same. William, when you were doing one stop on the train when we first started, what was that like for you? Was it a bit at the start, like when you're doing one stop, was it kind of like, should be doing more than this, Like, how did my life get like this? Like, one stop, is that all I'm able to do? Did you have that mentality at the start?
Oh, that was a big one for me. Why can't I go one more? And then one more is now limited into 3 hours here. I can't get home now.
And that's the psychology of that is like, well, I'm only gone one stop, you know? And reality, one stop is one step. And that's how we all recover. I didn't recover. I recovered exactly the way Judy, William, just because you did get on that plane, it means nothing. Just means you have to have a little bit more work. Okay, that's all. You need to just refresh and I have your recovery plan. It's all new. It's all thought out. And we're just gonna get right back on track. So forget what happened. And obviously I want you to stay on before we get off. And when everyone gets off, I want you to stay. And I can talk to you about that. So where was I? Yeah, the negative. Oh, I only went one stop. That's fantastic. We'll build up the two. We'll build up the three. Okay? And that's how it works. What happened to me was I didn't get past the traffic light for a month and a half.
I
Couldn't get
got off
past
on
it.
the fourth one.
Fourth. Fantastic.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Oh my God. Unreal.
Again,
Like, unreal.
positive reinforcement. The great thing about this that we don't understand is what's happening in Yasmin's brain right now. She's done something the correct way. So when we're talking about the amygdala and reinforcing it correctly, she's just done it now. And she just needs more of that. Were you anxious? Probably, yeah.
Oh, like, so anxious.
Yeah. So even though you're anxious, you the more panicked you actually are in the situation, but you do it correctly, that promotes recovery better than getting on that bus and having no anxiety. Because that means we're not doing it correctly. That means something we have to go into our fears, and that's not scaring you.
Yeah.
Understand? Everyone understand? That's very important for everybody. The more panic inducing the stimuli is or the situation, the environment, and you pass through it correctly, whether that's a 5 minute walk or a 2 minute walk without your safety behaviors or something, if you do it correctly, That's where the switchover is happening on a neurochemical level. That's where you're stuck because of those things done the opposite way. You could have easily, you probably had in your head there. Was it correct that you were probably thinking about going home and because the bus was taking too long, Yasmin?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, look at the feeling after you feel now. If you went home, you never would have had that psychological reinforcement than what you feel now.
I
10
would have
years
felt even
on
worse
a
at
bus,
home.
yeah, would have ate you alive. And that's when you know you're
Yeah.
in recovery mode. That's when I knew it was because when I went to
You
do
know,
my
like,
exposure, yeah,
sorry, Glenn. I was just going to say,
go ahead.
before I left the house, I was going to go to another car wash. And I said, sorry, I'm out of breath because I'm running. I said to Niall, I don't want to do another car wash because I feel like I'm all right with them now. And he was like, what else can you do? And I said, I'm going to get on a bus. And I literally just put my shoes on and left.
Fantastic.
So,
And the thing is about that is like, guys, look at the willingness there. Look at the willingness. Like, you knew you're going to be anxious in that bus, right? But you're still willing to do it.
oh yeah, I
And
knew
it's
I
the
was going to be like
willingness.
sick.
Yeah. So it's the willingness to feel anxious, but go ahead and do it because you know this is how I'm going to get my life back.
Yeah.
Okay? So great work. Excellent work. I love it.
I feel like this is so weird, right? Because I thought to myself, when I do it once, it's probably going to be so bad that I won't want to do it again. But I feel like I do want to do it again. Not because I'm going to enjoy it, but because like I need to, and I know that I need to.
Oh, again, perfect mindset. Again, what you just mentioned there, I was afraid that I was going to do it and I would have had a really bad experience of having a horrible panic attack and having to get off before I even make it to the worst stop. Of the first stop, I would have told the driver to let me off and would have had a horrible panic attack and I would have set me back.
Yeah.
And
And
then what would have happened?
I did have, like, I had horrible panic. I had the same panic day that I had when I was locked in the car, which started all this. But now I
Right.
know, I didn't know at the time when that happened to me that nothing would come from the panic that I felt.
Yeah.
So
And
now I
again,
know that.
you now know that because of your behaviors, which you never
Yeah.
you people know that logically because of the books you read and what you're reading here with me. But this all means shit if you're not going out and taking action. All this
Yeah.
is just ridiculous. Everything I'm explaining here from the bottom of my heart that I'm putting into this, if you're not going out and tackling this the correct way, this is meaningless.
Yeah.
I'm showing you guys from a very logical, very understanding perspective of how to overcome this. But if you don't go out and take action on it, you don't get that psychological switch over exactly what Yasmin just had there. Okay? You're all experts here. You're experts in avoidance. You're experts in procrastination, just like I was, until I got so bad that I wanted my life back and nothing was going to stop me. And every day I was willing. I was willing to fail. Every day, like I end up going, let's say, 10 stops on a bus. Guess what would happen the next day? I'd be scared and I'd only go one. Guess what happened the next day? I'd be scared again and I'd only go one. And if I went early that day at like 10 a.m., it would get to like 8 p.m. at night. I'm like, fuck that. I want to go out and go on another bus. And then I'd probably make 3 stops and go home. I was always winning. Technically failing, but being so consistent that I know there's no way that you can keep up going. I'll keep going 10 stops, 10 stops, 10 stops. No, no. You go one, then you go five, then you go 10. Then you're so scared that that was a bad one. Like 10 stops was really hard, it was difficult. I don't really like feel like going like doing that today. But I'm gonna do one stop. And then you get on the bus for one stop and you end up going five. And then within a week you're doing 10 again. And you have that big panic again at the 10. But you survived it again. You come home. You see how it's all you keep failing yourself towards recovery, guys. You keep going. Even if you have horrible panic attacks, take it easy the next day. Okay? But do the same thing. Okay? You don't always have to go into that 10 out of 10. But you need a lot of them. And they will come and they will hit you at times you're not even ready for. Okay, so we'll finish off a little bit here. Okay, we're going to spend another probably 10 minutes finishing off, and now you guys probably have to be somewhere. Again, if you have to jump off, you do that. But it's all recorded for you guys. The negative consequences of avoidance, the worsening of symptoms. Okay, because the more you avoid, I mean, Yasmin, if you were doing that bus journey every day for the next 30 days, your symptoms will you won't even have any anxiety on that bus, and that's the raw honest truth. Okay. But the negative consequences of avoidance is we've avoided for years. So please, like, stop the want and the need to everything has to be perfect during recovery. It's not happening. You're gonna feel like shit. That's perfectly okay. You're gonna struggle and have some really dark times with this. But you're making yourself really proud. And I'm proud of you as well, because I know what it takes. It takes everything. So it's the worsening of symptoms. Because what happens is psychologically, when you go to bed at night, I'm not doing the right thing. I knew I could do that today, and I said no. I lied today. I took the easy way out today. And when that happens so consistently to any human being struggling with anxiety or not, it's very detrimental to our mental health. Whether anxiety and panic or not, it's going to make us feel like shit. And that is the worsening of symptoms, because then you start to have these kind of depressive episodes of panic attacks. Everyone being there with those ones? Yeah. Okay, the depressive episodes of panic. And that's from the lack of urgency, the lack of psychological wins, the lack of like, deep down I'm not doing the right things. You can't get away with it. But if you're honest with yourself and say, I haven't done the right things for a long time. I know what Glenn's trying to tell me to do with the coaching. I'm not doing it. Own up to that and take responsibility and just change tomorrow and do something small. Make yourself proud. Because the more you don't do it and you keep giving yourself the excuses, we all know we're professional bullshitters in the most nicest way possible. Because we know we're really good people. We're not perfect. We're good souls. We don't want to be living a life like this. And the lies that we tell and the reasons for not doing the things is very justified. It's very natural. But there has to come a point where we have to take responsibility to get our life back. And when we don't do these things, it hurts us in bed when we're lying, and it's too much. We know we have moral compasses. We hold ourselves to a good moral standard that we know we're doing the wrong things. So avoidance can cause the fear to generalize, okay? Spreading anxiety more, okay? Making it more mentally difficult for yourself, okay? And then you have no confidence then. Everything is like you're starting all over again. Some people are actually at that point right now, okay? Then the social and functional impairment. Avoidance behaviors can lead to disruptions in personal, social, and professional life, no friends anymore, marriages. I've seen it all, guys. I've heard it all, been through it all as well, okay? And then everything just declines, okay? Become very isolated, very lonely, okay? The loss of independence, the biggest one, the hardest one. Not being able to work, not being able to go to college, not being able to take your spouse on a date, not being able to bring your kids to a park, not being able to bring your kids to nursery, not being able to collect your kids from school, not being able to. I've seen people not being able to cook their own meals for their kids, that they had to bring their own mother over, which you will see that person next week. How I've picked the worst cases who've got the best recoveries, and you're going to see that next week. And it's going to give you a lot of hope, okay? But the loss of independence is a real soul killer, okay? We've all been there. Okay. We finish on this. I'm going to cut it off, save this after this, and we'll have a little chat for 5 minutes. Say our goodbyes, and I'll talk a little for 2 seconds. Okay, breaking the cycle, exposure therapy. I'm going to fly through this really, really quickly. Gradually and repeated exposure to feared situations or stimuli helps desensitize the brain's fear response. We all know that. There's no point going over that again, 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 again. Zip it, take action. By facing these fears in a controlled manner, the individual learns that the anxiety will decrease over time without the need for avoidance. Again, we know this. We know it way too well. We have to be very brave to take that stance and go towards it. Support systems, okay? What we're just doing now. Beautiful to come on here and have people, oh my God, he has the same thought as me. She's doing the same shit I'm doing. Well, she thought she was a bad mother as well because she couldn't take her kids to bloody school. Very nice to hear that. Very comforting. Friends and family, a strong support network that can be encouragement, reassurance, and a sense of safety during these times. During, like, I'm sure Yasmin, did you feel like it's small, even 5%, little bit of, "Ooh, at least I have the group there. Just nice,
Oh
just
yeah,
at that
that's
moment."
why I did it.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. Eventually, you don't need any of that again. That's a safety behavior. But that's a pair. What did I say at the start? Safety behaviors are absolutely fine. Having us on a group enabled you to get on a bus that you haven't done for 10 years. Okay?
Yeah,
Well, but did it stop you from having a panic attack or anxiety?
no.
No, it didn't. But it just eased something inside you. You just felt supported, loved, taken care
Yeah.
of, safe, for even
And I
2%.
think as well, because everyone here understands, like they know exactly how it feels. Whereas if I was to tell, like, say my mom that I was getting on a bus, she'd be like, like she'd be supportive, but not in the way that you are, because you know how hard it is. She'd be like, "Come on, it's just a bus. Come on, you can do it." Whereas you just kind of get a bit more.
I probably, if I was a good fighter back in the day, I probably would have put about 10 of my friends in the chokehold for saying shit like that to me.
Oh yeah, me too.
Anyway, support, excellent. And that's what, like, we talked about and why it's so important to have that support groups, connecting with others who have, and the best thing about this group is everyone, we want to take action, and people that are taking action and are further ahead than people, you actually give such a glimmer of hope from your bravery will make someone that's just starting to take their first steps. And that should be very inspirational from you, even though you're not there yet and you're still struggling. You've no idea how many times people come to me and said, "Oh, I loved when she did that. It made me do that." When last night, when she said that, Judy said that, and Judy got on the plane, and then Yasmin got on the plane, and Rosa took that down there, and William's doing this. It made me do that. You've no idea how many times people come and say that to me personally.
Yeah, I
So
feel like William
you're
for me was
inspiring.
that today, because he said how much he was struggling today, and he still went ahead and done what he did. So I was like, if I'm not even having a bad day, why am I not going to go and do something that like triggers me so much? Because it's the only way to get
Yeah,
better. And he's able to do
yeah,
it while he's having like the worst day. So I was like, fuck this.
yeah,
If
and
William
that
can do it,
that
I can do it.
and that. I mean, if you ask him now, William, after you did that today, do you feel, as I said, when we're not doing the correct things, our soul kind of eats away at us. But now you've gone and done that. Do you feel a sense of achievement that, like, little bit of spark has kind of come back, a small bit even? William, are you there? Probably jumped off.
No, he's not in the group now.
Okay, no problem. Oh, okay, because I have to chat with him now, so I'll give him a call on the WhatsApp there. I see myself here. Okay, so right, we finished on the last bit here. Combining support with exposure. Basically, what we just did there. Okay, and combining exposure with a robust support system. Which is exactly why I set this up, guys. Exactly. For, like, all this means nothing. We just spent an hour and 15 minutes. And I've set all this presentation up for you guys. It means nothing if you are not out there taking action. Nothing will change in your brain. You remain the same. 6 months will pass by. You have to take action. Anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to save this now. Stay on for a second. Um, Saving this for obviously the people that maybe weren't here at the start, maybe missed 20 minutes of it, or people that have jumped off when I said, listen, if you have to go, you have to go. People I knew which people were on times and who weren't. So we finish up there. And yes, for everyone who hasn't seen this yet, I hope you take a lot from it. And for those who are with us tonight, you can always look back on this, okay? Okay. So now I just want to go to Alessandro. Alessandro, are you okay to talk? You feel okay?
Oh yeah.
Excellent stuff. And listen, you're so welcome. Okay, this is the start of your journey. Going to build you up psychologically. Okay, going to get you to be more brave. Okay, it's all it is. Okay, we
Yeah.
need to just build you up psychologically to start getting on the right track. How did you feel after listening on tonight and meeting the
Yeah.
group?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely relate with a lot of things that were talked about there. Um, and I don't know if other people feel like this, but when it comes to having to start facing the exposures, for me, it's things like getting trapped, like lifts and um, the tube and planes and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like my biggest barrier is just I have this mindset where it's a bit like I'm gambling. I'm throwing the dice. Like I can do the exposure, but I'm scared that what if I get stuck? You know, um, that is for me the biggest barrier. Yeah.
Okay, guys, you've all seen me doing this before. Everyone on mute again. And basically what Alessandro said, he says he basically fears being in trapped situations where he feels there's no escape and he's going to go into the ultimate panic. Oh, yeah? So I want to ask the question to everybody, and all I want is a yes or no. Everyone get ready to say yes or no. Take everyone's off mute. Who feels or has felt or even thinks the same way as Alessandro? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Terrified of it.
My battery died
Okay,
then,
so
so I'm not
you're
going.
you're imme you're immediately not alone, Alessandro. Yeah?
Yeah.
And taking myself back, a hell yeah from me when I was struggling. And the fact remains is how will you ever know that will or I won't? How will you get past these what ifs action? Let's go and see.
Yeah.
Okay? But we do it gradually in a certain place that's achievable, but also will elicit your central nervous system and get you to panic a little. And then we move on to more difficult things. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, has anyone got any questions tonight? We're finished up now. I just want William to stay on. Anyone? We're all good? The recording will be sent out tomorrow. All you can listen to it again. Okay? Anyone got any questions? Anything?
No.
Okay?
I
We
do want to
continue
say
on.
the train one stop. So when people are around, I'm nervous. It's my first time taking the gold line, and I can't remember 5 years more. I don't know. So when people are around, I appreciate support.
We're good, yeah. Always. And that the beautiful thing about getting on that, I always remember, you're on a damn plane having a panic attack high in the sky and nothing happened to you. Remember that. That's the beautiful psychological, not reward, but the beautiful psychology that you can always tap into now that I had a panic attack on a plane last month and back. And here I am eating a beautiful lump of chicken, you know? So I can move on to my next challenge now. Yeah. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. I'm super proud of you all. And another thing I want to mention before we go, stop, stop comparing. Stop comparing yourself to people. Everyone recovers at a different rate. Some of us have different trauma. Some of us have different life situations. We're all different in many ways, but the nature of the disorder is the same. And how we get out of it is pretty much the same. Stop comparing yourself. Everyone is in this together. Everyone promotes love, support, care for everyone. And I know you all give that. But what I don't want is people comparing. Okay, and I hear it all the time. Well, that person was like only for 4 months and they recovered. Okay, want me to tell you their experience, how they had anxiety? I'm not going to do that. But it's different to you, which you take a little longer. Also, you're not working damn hard enough. That person put in fucking hard work. You're not. That's the kick of the ass people have to hear as well sometimes. But anyway, guys, listen. Have a lovely weekend. If anyone needs any support, reach out. Everyone's always here in the group, and I'll be on the group whenever I can. Okay? So much love. Fantastic. For those who are doing great, keep it up. Allow yourself to still have shit days. Lorna, God bless you with the hangover, but it was worth it. Okay? And yeah, much love. William, can you stay on? See you later, guys. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. God bless.
Bye,
Excellent
bye.
stuff. William, how are you? You still on the train? Do you want me to buzz your phone, William? You see. See if we can get this.